I answer Etsy's questions because they wouldn't. A few weeks ago, Etsy did a webinar on Google SEO, and there was a whole section, a whole place where you could put in your questions. But of course, Etsy could only answer so many of them. So I decided I would answer your most asked questions about mainly Etsy SEO, the ones that I can answer. So, yes, of course, I was making notes on the questions as they went. I won't show them up or say people's names because I don't want to out people and I don't want to, I'll be skipping the things that we're not allowed to see. But let's answer the questions. So, first, with tags, should you use single word tags and will they be combined or multi word tags? Should you use single word tags? No, but. So, quick explanation about tags is they're there to back up like your titles and things to say that your listings are relevant for the keywords that customers are typing into search. A single word tag will not negatively impact your SEO for that thing. If people, let's assume people are searching for the word ring and suddenly there wasn't millions of rings on Etsy. So generally a single word tag is too broad. There's too many searches for it. So you don't want to aim for a single word. But in our make-believe world, we're saying that the single word tag of ring is absolutely okay. So if you had ring in your title and you had ring as one of your tags, and let's assume there's not an attribute with the word ring as well, because it's fairly pointless just to have the single word for many reasons. But let's assume you did. Your ranking for the single word of ring would be pretty much the same whether your tag just has the word ring or it had silver engagement ring. Don't know if that's too many characters. It'd be exactly the same. You're exactly optimized for ring. The problem is you've only got 13 tags and that gives you less words you can show up for. So you can add other words. Now, would they be combined or multi-word tags? Now, you could, I'm not sure, 100% combined could just mean if you were aiming for the word ring and you were aiming for the word cat ring would be a better term anyway. But if there were totally different words that don't combine to actually make a keyword that people are searching for. So if you're aiming for ring and you were aiming for umbrella, for some reason you have a listing that's relevant for both. And nobody's searching for umbrella ring, but you could put the word umbrella and the word ring into a tag and you would be just as optimized for umbrella and ring. And if anybody in the world decided to search for umbrella ring, it might be a thing, who knows? If anyone searched for it, you would be equally optimized for that. So you have one tag that potentially could get you found for 3 different search terms. So you're better probably to not just have the single word tag. But you might go and look at top selling shops and say they just have single word tags. And chances are they're getting seen in search because they're getting loads of sales. They're a great shop. They don't need all the extra keywords because Etsy understands what their listing is. So they're not getting penalized for just having the word ring. They just don't need to throw all the rest of the spaghetti at the wall because they know what's working. So you shouldn't use single word tags, but don't freak out. If your best performing listing has single word tags, just leave it. Let's see. Using Chat GPT or AI for descriptions, is this helpful or detrimental? That is a fantastic question. Using Chat GPT for descriptions is a bit of both. It's helpful. It can take writer's block. It can word things in ways you'd never thought of. It can come up with euphemisms for your item or all sorts of things. It can even give you ideas for different items if it comes up with something about, oh, this is also very eco-friendly and sustainable and it's made from this material. And you think, hey, I could make something from that material. Helpful in that way. Detrimental, you've got to read it. AIs are not as clever as you think they are. Wish they were, but they're just not. So Yeah, exactly. You've got to read it, make sure it makes sense, make sure it sounds in your brand voice as well. If you are friendly and warm and welcoming, and suddenly this starts to write like it's the like it's the boss of some kind of really formal company in the 70s, that's not going to look good. So use it like an inspiration, like a helper. Don't just copy and paste the descriptions. I mean, oh, for goodness sake, some of them are really bad. Why does it take so long for a hand delivery item to get a review link? If you hand deliver an item, then Etsy doesn't have the tracking to see when something's been delivered. It's the same as if you don't have tracking. Etsy can only go by the estimated time that your listing has said it's going to take to create and ship. So the review links only come up for customers after the estimated time. Etsy can't know that you've hand delivered it and everything's okay. Ooh, there are many handmade ceramic mugs on Etsy. How can I make my mug stand out? By being better. By not there's an influx of identical looking things on Etsy. Don't be an identical looking thing. What's different about you? What's your passion? What's your niche? I mean, are you an absolute nerdy gamer that really loves this specific type of game that has a massive following of millions of people around the world? Be that kind of ceramic mug. Are you hand making it in your studio when you go out and you gather the clay for yourself from the beautiful riverbed at the bottom of your garden? Film yourself. Let's see that. Stand out by standing out. Stand out by being different. Nobody stands out by being the same as everybody else. And don't try and be the same, but just a little bit different. Be awesome. You can be the cheapest in the whole world. That's a horrible business strategy for a small business. Stack them high and sell them cheap. Works well if you have a massive infrastructure. Make the best quality. Stand out as the stuff that people want to share with their friends because it's awesome or it's really of the niche. Can Google tell if AI was used for descriptions? Is it a benefit or detriment to use AI? They can't really, because what's AI generated is unique every time. Some of them are very good, some of them are very bad. As far as I know, at the minute in time, Google can't actually tell. But what Google hates, as far as I know, is repetitious, pointless, like just word salad. So what can happen when you ask AI, it'll several of its paragraphs will feel very similar because it's maybe not giving you an entire description. It's giving you one paragraph said in several different ways. Or it might make mistakes. It might be saying things that just aren't true. So bad descriptions, Google can kind of tell. And the biggest way it can tell if something's bad is if people aren't liking the item. If someone searches on Google, sees your item, goes to it, and the description really puts them off, they're like, I don't want to buy that, comes back to Google, has to search again, then Google goes, yeah, well, that wasn't a good one to tell them. So that's the best way. If it puts customers off, then it's very bad. Does Google search do localization, or should we include a tag with our country if we feel that we'd like to target those searchers? For example, I live in Canada and many Canadian online shoppers want to shop local. Should I use Made in Canada in a tag for Google? Google knows your location, absolutely, especially if you give it permission to. But yes, if someone searching in the US will see different results to someone searching in the UK. Google search results is personalized to a whole lot of things. I would use a Made in Canada tag if people are searching for Made in Canada and your stuff is Made in Canada. Oh, this is my favorite question, I think. Aren't tags and keywords the same thing? Nope, but they're similar. Keywords are the words and phrases that customers type into the search bar. tags are part of the metadata that we give to Google, to Etsy rather, in this case, that we give to Etsy to say our items are relevant for that keyword. Quite often they can be the same thing. If you make an engagement ring, absolutely you should put engagement ring into your tag, and if someone searches for the keyword engagement ring, you'll probably match. However, if your keyword is much longer than a tag can be, then your tag would have to be split up, your bronze and opal steampunk engagement ring. You would have to split that up into different things. And also, as search engines become more and more clever, this exact match isn't so important. It's more, this is speculating for the future rather than exactly what Etsy's like, but Etsy has been mentioning it for a while. It understands that maybe synonyms of words and things are similar. Some search engines understand a little bit about what your photograph's like. They also understand what similar items have been like. So it can be, and yeah, Etsy talks about this as well, when someone searches for something, due to the personalization and all the understanding of other things, the search engine, the little bot might look and understand what your item is and understand it's relevant based on the tags, but the tags might not be exactly what the keywords were. You might show up in search for, in fact, if you look just now, especially in ads, but if you look at what terms you're being found for, some of them won't be in your title and tags at all, because the algorithm's testing and learning. So it's going, okay, because you said this combination of things, perhaps your item's one of these things. And then it'll learn over time. If people click on it when they search for it and see it in the search, then it'll understand that your item is very relevant for those keywords. And if it tries for something else and people don't click on it, it'll go, okay, it's not. So it starts to understand that that kind of combination of tags could be relevant for those keywords. Ooh, can I give an item away to get a review on it? Nope. Shilling for extra reviews. I'm trying to manipulate the system. Not good. And also, if you give an item away, it's not a sale, so you can't get a review. Why doesn't copying a highly visited product's information work every time? I use exactly the same details, but the visitor ranking for the products can sometimes be quite different. Yeah. Part of how Etsy ranks something in search, especially for very competitive keywords, they look at how that item has done in the past. They look at how good the shop it's in has done. So if you're a little tiny shop and you copy a massive shop's keywords, not got a chance. That massive shop has what's called a good customer experience score. It has reviews. It's been around for a while. It's got a well filled in shop. Etsy trusts it. Probably the listing has been sold and renewed a whole bunch of times. So Etsy understands that this listing is good for those keywords. Whereas you come along with your new thing that you've just copied, you're not going to end up sitting right next to that thing, because what extra are you doing? If you copied someone's listing, but your item was significantly better and customers were way, way more likely to click on your item, you might do better. It will take a while to build up because Etsy doesn't have that trust for you. So it won't rank you very high. So you won't be seen very often. But every time you're seen, your shop and your listing will do better and better and you'll claw up the rankings. But yeah, directly copying someone who's great, that's like turning up at an Aquaman interview. Audition, there's a word. Turning up at an audition for Aquaman with your great CV and saying, why is Jason Momoa getting it again? My CV's just as good as his. It's just as well written out, but it's not just as good as his because the company understands and trusts that Jason Momoa is a good Aquaman and doesn't know you from Adam. So you have to go in and slightly easier roles and build up trust. It's the same with your Etsy listings. Does becoming a star seller significantly increase our Etsy listing rankings? Nope. Currently doesn't directly influence them at all. It would only make a difference if customers are more likely to buy from someone with a star seller badge. And it's hard to tell that because star seller badges come from shops that have to have had sales and made money because it's part of the rules. So it comes from a selling shop. So it could be a good item already. But yeah, it doesn't directly. Why do some shops seem to have all the Etsy pick? Is there a way to apply for it to be reviewed? Does it help SEO rank? The Etsy pick badge, it used to mean that someone on the team had picked out your item for use in like a mail out or something. And that is still the case. But also what it's doing is Etsy told us they're training a different type of AI system to understand what good listings are. So they have humans going in and picking things, going, this is a good example of a bookshelf. This is a good example of this kind of thing. And then the AI will be looking at that, like doing a large language model thing, but on listings going, oh, pictures that look a bit like that, Etsy staff likes them, and titles. And yeah, this is the kind of thing. And so the algorithm will start learning what's a good listing. It doesn't help your SEO at all. However, if the Etsy pick, again, they're still more likely to be used in mail outs and things. So if it's seen by a ton of shoppers because Etsy's shown it to a ton of shoppers, then that'll help you rank. Also, when you click through from some gift mode things and some things on the front page, again, what will be shown quite often is filtered by Etsy pick. So it doesn't help your SEO rank, but sometimes only Etsy pick things are going to be being seen. You can't apply for it to be reviewed, but you want to have awesome listings with really great photography that's in the style that Etsy seems to like just now, basically. That's the same person asking about tags. And a whole lot of people talking about how bad the technical issues were. We should avoid stuffing keywords on tags too. They were talking in it about keyword stuffing. Now, as we said, the tags don't have to be keywords. They don't have to be the exact thing that people are searching for. So if your item is a ring, you don't need 13 tags, each with the word ring: silver ring, engagement ring, wedding ring, this kind of ring, ring for her. You don't need every single tag to have the word ring in. However, there is an algorithmic boost for having an exact match to what the customer's looking for. So generally, I would advise for your listing, you want to try and really optimize for 3 or 4 real superstar keywords. And if all of them contain the word ring, okay, try an exact match 3 or 4 keywords. So you might say ring 3 or 4 times. But after that, for keywords that are maybe less competitive or you're less sure about, just make sure that all the words are included somewhere in the rest of your tags. You don't have to make sense with them because the algorithm can pick and mix. Oh, excuse me. More tag questions. Is it less effective to use multi-word tags? Does it dilute the tag's power when combining 2 words in one tag, i.e. soft, gentle? So this is cool. So randomly imagine we had a ring that could be a soft ring or a gentle ring. This is not a thing, but let's imagine. But it was also a wedding ring. So your main tag was wedding ring and you wanted to add soft and gentle so that it could match for all sorts of things. But no, I have tested and it doesn't seem to on Etsy dilute the tag's ranking power a whole lot to have more tags. The title somewhat. If you have a massive long title, you have a chance to really match for lots more keywords, but you rank slightly less high than if you just had the one keyword. With tags, it doesn't seem to matter at all. What's the ideal Etsy ads budget to allocate daily, and which selection is ideal to gain a steady and consistent traffic flow if SEO is optimized? How long's a piece of string, as my mum would annoyingly say. Bear in mind, I'm seeing lots of posts from people about Etsy ads, and they're posting up going, I made $1,000 this month from Etsy ads and it cost me $800. And they're going, oh, I'm gutted. That's horrible. That's sickening. No, that's actually pretty good. And I hate to say that it didn't used to be like this, but Etsy have said that they have tried to optimize ads in a way so that your cost per click will average out, so that you shouldn't be spending more in ads than you're making in ads on average. If you don't spend very much, you don't get enough time to be seen to actually make any sales. But in general, if you're making more than you're spending in ads, even if it's only a small amount, and even if when you take out the cost of materials in your time, you're not making anything, that is what Etsy still considers as a good thing. So don't budget more than you can afford to spend. Which selection is ideal to gain steady and consistent traffic? You have no guarantee of steady and consistent traffic because customers are not necessarily steady and consistent. So yeah, that's that's a problem. So you might find that sometimes you don't even spend all of your budget all the time and you're definitely not getting a load of traffic, and other times you blow through your budget and you're getting tons of traffic. There's no right or wrong to this, but which selection? You can advertise your best selling items because they're already selling well, so you've got a better chance of making more sales with them, but they're already your best selling item and you're not likely to make much extra money doing that. You could put ads up for your brand new listings. Then what you can do with this is get an idea of what keywords and things are working that might not have been working yet because it's a new listing and you don't have the ranking power and stuff. So you can get an idea if people like your listings. However, if the SEO isn't good or your listing's no good, you're not going to make any sales if customers don't like your item. So that's kind of feedback as well. And the final thing, you could advertise your listings that haven't had a lot of love lately, or maybe they're seasonal. Maybe you want to start just before the customers start to be getting a bit crazy coming in for a seasonal time. You want to get a little boost for some of your items that are seasonal. So putting Easter items up for sale a couple of months before Easter, up for ads, putting your Christmas giftable items up, just before people start shopping for Christmas. The strategy is up to you. Punctuation marks in titles, yes or no? If it helps the customer understand you, absolutely. There's no right or wrong with titles. It depends. If you're selling really high-end, beautiful things, you don't necessarily want wedding dress for her, wedding dress in white, wedding dress for everyone, wedding dress for wedding, with commas in between, and make yourself look like you're a Wish type item. But if you're selling cheap plastic earrings, then maybe that kind of title is okay. So experiment with it and also look at what the best selling items in your competition are doing, because that's what customers are responding to. Why doesn't Etsy allow a bestseller shop section? You can make a section of anything you want. But I think you mean that person means they want to be able to have a section that if any of your items hits a bestseller badge, goes into that section. That would be kind of cool, but I think people focus too much on bestseller already. There's nothing much we can do to manipulate it. And I think at 25 minutes, that is enough of the Etsy questions so far. If you like this, I'll get through and finish the rest of them, or work on it anyway. Anyway, thank you so much. If you disagree with anything I said, roast me in the comments. I know you will. Or if you agree, let me know. And yeah, thank you so much. See you next time.